All right, here's LifeCON letter number 20. Dear Ethan, letter typed up. Thank you for coming to our middle school. It was so nice to hear your raw, honest story about addiction and depression. I am from a family that deals with these topics. It was nice to hear a change from a constant, just stop and you will be fine. Everything is fine, but it's not. Even the most perfect people on the outside are crumbling on the inside. They bury themselves into sports, work, school, alcohol, you name it, to numb the pain, but it never truly goes away. It is the hardest battle a person can go through, the struggle inside one's brain. Addiction is where the thing that you are addicted to buries itself into the primitive part of the brain, the part that says you need to drink, water, eat, and sleep. Breaking an addiction is trying not to eat. It's almost impossible. I'm so proud of you and your journey. I also relate to you what you said about how it affects everyone around you. Before the alcoholic left, I never realized that the fact that a 6-year-old going to a liquor store and the fact that by the time I was 7 knew exactly how to see if a wine was good or not wasn't normal. When the alcoholic left, so did the habits that surrounded the alcohol. But that's not all. A 10-year-old couldn't possibly understand the change is better for the family. They just feel alone, lost in a world that took what they loved away from them. And I'm not the only person who has lost someone close to them to alcohol and drugs. They could lose someone from drunk driving or some stupid drunk decision. They could be completely innocent but lost their life from someone else's decisions. Or they could lose someone like I did. They picked alcohol over their family. You are doing amazing things, Ethan. You are saving thousands of lives by making people think about the true consequences. You took your mistake and turned them into something good. You are saving thousands from years of battling mental illness and potentially turning to alcohol and drugs, repeating the system. I know you will see that car crash every day of your life and feel guilty for it. I know he and his family are proud of you. You took the worst moments of your life and turned them into some of your best. I'm proud of you. You are truly incredible. And keep doing what you're doing. Giving kids hope that they can break the cycle of substance abuse. I know I am. I vow not to drink. I know it sounds harsh from someone who hasn't drinking yet, but I've seen the effects. I feel like I will be addicted if I try. I can't really explain it. It is like a part of my brain is telling me I will wreck my life even if I try it for one night. I know this is a lot to dump on a stranger, but you understand. You know the struggle firsthand. Isn't that weird? Trusting a stranger with your inner thoughts and the hardest things you have gone through, but you just seem trustworthy. I know you will keep doing amazing things. First, you have somehow made a school assembly not only interesting, but something I can relate to. Anyone can do that is going far in life. Thank you, Ethan Fisher, for what you were doing. Thank you. P.S. There is a book called Whirly Gig by Paul Fleshman. I think you should read it. It's about drunk driving. Middle school student wrote this. Typed it out. Like, how much insight does this young lady have? She's years above her own grade for maturity. Why? She lived with an alcoholic. Like 6 years old, she says by the time she was 7, she knew the difference between what a good wine was and wasn't. Now this school is in one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in Colorado. It was a public school, but still in one of the wealthiest areas. So this school that I went to multiple times, they have people who are wealthy beyond all means. But because it is a public school, there are some that have no means. So to see somebody like this who knows the difference in between like good wine and bad wine shows that they come from a likely affluent house. And her family was full of alcoholics. And it sounds like she lost somebody, probably her father, to alcoholism when she was 10. And I tell this to people all the time. Like, out of the 750-ish schools that I've spoken to, or universities or businesses, there hasn't been one that I can recall that hasn't had a drunk driving accident, a suicide, or a drug overdose, or somebody dying within the last 18 months. And I say that because the reality is the entire world is struggling with this. This is not some specific place in the country that is dealing with this. There are areas that are more afflicted than others, but the reality is this is in every city, in every town. I used to do, like when I first started speaking, I used to go to these small towns, like no stop sign in a town. Like some of these schools I went to had less than 100 people in it from 8th grade to high school. Some of them, even from kindergarten to high school, had less than 100 students in it. And that's because I was sacrificing my life to be able to build my career and practice my craft. And so I took every opportunity going to these small schools. And the reality is, all these small schools, people don't even care about them. And if you take like per capita, those schools had more issues than the big schools, because there's such a small sample size that 40% of them are doing drugs and alcohol on a daily basis. Like right there, that's 40% of your entire school. But because there's only 100 students, you don't think it's that big of a deal, but that's 40%, 40 of those kids. And they're way above the national average. And I get it. Like the adults in that area, there's nothing to do. They farm, they ranch, they mine, whatever it is. There's nothing to do for hundreds of miles. So what do people do? They drink. They use drugs. There's nothing else to do. And then these kids, where are they gonna go? They can't go anywhere. Now that's the one positive to like social media and the internet. Like these kids actually, like my generation, you grow up out like that, you don't have anything. I grew up, we had 4 stations. We had rabbit ears. I lived in the middle of these mountains, and I wasn't even that far from society. I had friends that lived like way up in these canyons where there was no TV, no nothing. We had rabbit ears. And I recall, like, my dad would have to get on the roof and like move the rabbit ears to try to get, we had 2, 4, 7, and 9, I think, were the only stations we had. And then half the time those didn't even come in because we couldn't get an antenna signal. Now these kids have high-speed internet wherever they are, so they have activities they can get online and actually do things. Problem is, we get online, and I'm guilty of it too, we get on and we scroll social media versus taking 10 years ago, I was so on my game. Like, I would get on and take courses online just for fun. Like, I have 28 Corsica course certifications that I just took for fun a couple years ago, especially during the pandemic. What I'm saying is, like, there are Ivy League schools that post their content so you can take all these classes, and you live in some crappy town where you've got nothing, you can educate yourself to get out. Problem is, they get online and they scroll and they watch all these influencers doing stupid stuff. Now everybody's selling things on I'm shaking my head because I'm worried that that's the direction I'm heading. Like, I didn't do this to sell stuff. Like, hey, look at these LifeCON hoodies. It's not why I did this. I did all this stuff to be able to help people. The problem is when you help people, you seem to be alone. I don't know if it's because the other people around feel guilty, shameful. Like, what really ticks me off is I've gone to principals in schools and the administration are like, man, yeah, we've got no problems in this school. Never had any. 8th grader comes up to me, he's like, yeah, we're doing coke in the bathroom, Mr. Fisher. Doing it right across from the office. Now, I don't know if they're doing that to protect themselves or they're ignorant to it, because kids can hide stuff. Like I've said before, my mom didn't even know I used the F word until I was like a senior in high school, and I've been using it every day since 3rd grade. Like, I remember being on the soccer field at Bennett Elementary School, using the F word every single lunch break. F you, F that, I'm cool. And I thought it was because I was cool. Because I was like the only one doing it, so I thought I was mature and I was above everybody else using the F word. Like, people don't understand, like, I cuss. I cuss worse than a drunken sailor who's going through a domestic violence beef with his ex-wife or ex-husband. So, point is, like, one, this young lady, if she stays away from alcohol, like, think about that. She knows that if she drinks one time, she feels like she's going to be an alcoholic the rest of her life, and that's because of her family history. Now, if I looked at my family history, I wish I would have known that as well. I tell the story all the time. I wish I would have never drank or did drugs in the first place. Why? Because I saw my grandma die from alcoholism. She technically died of cancer, lung cancer, from cigarettes, so I said I'd never smoke. But because I saw my grandma do it, my parents don't even know this, but when I'd stay at my grandma's house when I was a kid, I don't know, I was 6, 7, and I'd find cigarette butts out on my grandma's porch in the backyard, and I would light them up and try to smoke like she did. And I sat there and said I'd never smoke. And then when I started drinking, like 18, 19 years old, and I was in college, I started smoking like a pack a night. It was disgusting. Especially when I was doing drugs. I would smoke a whole pack of cigarettes every single night when I was on E. It's disgusting. Cigarettes make me sick. So my biggest hope when I go to schools is to just never try drugs in the first place. It's not worth it. You don't know what you're gonna get addicted to. So yeah, there's some people who can do drugs and drink and not get addicted. But there are others that can't. And when you are in that addiction, you can't get out. It is the hardest thing in the world to beat. So hard. So just don't use. I still have an addictive personality. I just gotta pick and choose what I can and cannot do. I know I can't drink. So my hope is just never use. Why try? Nothing ever good happens from it. You don't see somebody use and all of a sudden they're a billionaire. The billionaires use because they hate their life and they're bored and all they care about is their money. And they're going through a divorce, or they've had 5 divorces because they can't keep a relationship because they're miserable and unhappy with themselves. So they drink and do drugs. So just don't use. I can go back to 8th grade. I wish I would have never even tried. I know the exact moment when I tried, everything broke for me. 8th grade, middle school, sock hop. First time I ever smoked weed. Junior year, high school, lose to the Lambkins. I drank for the first night. Wish I would have never had.